And there we go, live. Oi, oi, good evening. Well, let's just wait until we get confirmation that audio's. Yeah. So we're up and running. Well, good evening, you other two. Three. As the numbers creep up. Wow, what an exciting week so far, isn't it? As you can probably hear, I'm still not in my best, so. But as usual, we'll keep going as long as we can. Did quite well last week. We nearly made the 2-hour mark. Maybe we can do the same today, but I haven't got a lot of notes here, so we'll see where we go. I will be with you in a minute. Good evening, Marines. As always, Mrs. W, the lovely Mrs. W, sat in the background there. She's quite well rested today. She only did half a day at work because she had to go to the opticians for some tests. So don't let her tell you any different.
Yeah, I booked 2 hours out of my 5-hour day. I went up, signed in, and I just got started, and it was a case of we need to reboot the system. And that took about an hour, so I've done about 2 hours work today. Gusty.
More than what I did. I was just taxi service. Good evening, Jen.
You did your chores?
I did my chores, yeah. I did the washing up. Oh, pardon me. But lots of things going on, isn't there? There's uproar in PMQs and, it's all kicking off still in the Middle East there. I can't figure it out. Who's fucking fighting who? You got Trump throwing rockets and bombs in Iran. Along with, with Israel and a few others. And then you got us, the EU, that want nothing to do with it. And it seems to me as if Iran itself is just firing rockets at anybody that's in fucking range. But as we've seen right from the beginning, the sticking point. Oh, Iran's threatened everybody, Jen. They've threatened everybody, including the states. The states could literally just send one wave over and just obliterate a lot of them. But then that's going to be wrong because there'd be even more civilians killed, I mean, anybody that's there now that's a civilian would probably have left the city if they agree with what Trump's doing. But, now it's all over the Straits of Hormuz, isn't it? Trump wanting to defend it. No bastard wants to help him, including us. Now, if you listen to the freaks in power, they did this with the Ukraine and Russia war. As soon as it kicked off, we're going to be running out of food, oil, gas. Oh, and fertilizer as well, apparently. And they did that with Russia and Ukraine as well. Apparently, fertilizer was a big thing that was being blocked. You'd think the fucking world's going to end because we haven't got any fertilizer.
Sure, the cows would assist.
No, that's right. We'll just go and muck out fucking Westminster now and again. There's plenty of the shit in there. Yeah, exactly, Jen. Good evening, lurkers. Sorry I forgot them guys, the friendly ones and the bad ones. Peter, good evening, mate. But, you know, I thought most of what we need and what we rely on. Oh, got an alert for an email. Bloody hell, heavens above. I thought it all came from the EU, or most of it. Good evening, JW. But now you got this. They put all these sanctions on Russia over the Ukraine. But now it's all right to lift some of them sanctions to get involved in another war. You know, they're looking at lifting some of the sanctions on Russian oil, for fuck's sake. Sorry about the swearing early, guys. I've been in one of them moods with some of the shit that's been going on. But, you know, good evening, Moo. But again, on that, you've got Zelensky now putting his frigging nose in. Yeah. Yeah, as if he hasn't got enough of his own problems without getting involved in this one. Well, ships are getting through apparently, but it, as I said, it looks like it's good evening, Flyby. It seems to be the only ones that are going to China or North Vietnam. You know, communist countries, basically. Right. Yeah, exactly, Jen. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I've got some of the things to say about that in a bit, but yeah, you'd think with all the corruption and everything else like that. I mean, listen to the fucking idiot today when he wanted an apology and an MP to be removed. I believe it was the Shadow Justice Secretary about making remarks about the Eid celebration in London that little dictator Khan, the pocket dictator Khan, organised for the end of Ramadan. Yeah, most of it does move. Yeah, but then he went on and he found these comments offensive about Muslims praying in public. And he, you know, carried on. We've seen the Christian celebrations, and he mentioned a few. The Jewish ones, he mentioned a few others. But he said it's only the Muslims that get criticised. Well, yeah, because they are the only ones that pray like they do in public to deliberately cause as much fucking disruption to everybody else as possible and try and force their dominance. Yeah. Bit close to the mark for that to be a coincidence, isn't it, JW? But, you know, they drop down into the middle of the fucking road and pray at any given time. Disrupting fucking traffic. Blocking roads. Taking over parks. Intimidating people in the parks. Town centres, that's another one. Yet one Christian praying in public and boom, they're arrested because Muslims don't like it. Or they'll go and complain to the nearest fucking copper who arrests them under the guise of public order or provoking hate crime. But when you see the Muslims doing this, You go and report exactly the same as what they do about a Christian on his own to a copper that you feel exactly the same. And then again, you'll get arrested for a public order offence. Yeah. No reporting them allowed. We see time and time again, nothing gets done.
Yeah, because that's racial.
Yeah, you can't report them or criticise them. My take on this, no apology should ever be fucking made for pointing out the absolute fucking truth. And the evidence is there everywhere. But I would like to thank Starmer for opening a lot of people's eyes to his two-tier bullshit, because they're seeing the same as we are now. So well done, you knobend. Yeah, exactly, Jen. Exactly. It's but yeah, Trump's called for help in the Straits of Hormuz. Now, if we're in such deep shit over it, it would make economic sense to go and help, wouldn't it? The EU is saying they could have shortages. We got our mob telling us, other countries telling us. Well, get off your fucking ass, pull your finger out and do something about it then, if it's that bad. But, at the end of the day, all this is doing now is exposing how weak the UK has become. We haven't got the capability to defend ourselves. And the government hasn't got the inclination to defend us. Simply because Starmer doesn't want it. And again, we know why. Exactly why. He doesn't want to lose the Muslim vote. He's relying on it to save his ass, which hopefully this time it won't fucking do. And he's more than willing to hurt us and the country and other countries to achieve that. Yeah, and he won't get the votes if he starts attacking Muslim countries. That is simply it in a nutshell, basically. Yeah. Unbelievable. And over this now as well, we got Reeves going on about what we can expect. Freak Miliband, I've got something to say about that twat in a minute. But anyway, we've still got our swipe left from the last lockdown. Well, we haven't, but I dare say somebody has somewhere. In fact, there might be one in one of my bags somewhere. But I would suggest seriously at the moment, I'd look at keeping your, not prepping, but keeping your food supplies stocked up, especially non-perishables. Make sure you got batteries in the house for torches, etc., or power packs for phones and stuff like that. To me, that's an everyday thing now, has been for a few years. If you've got a car, fill it up before the prices go any higher, and keep it topped up when you can, because that's going to be the most likely shortage, will be petrol. So keep it topped up. Good evening, Grumpy Sapper. How are you, mate? Been a while.
And yeah, I was only talking about him last night.
Yeah.
Or was it the night before?
I think you'll find it was
It was
night
last
before.
week.
Night before, I think it was. Sorry, I'm just sorting out some of my notes here. As usual, I've got the bloody things everywhere. Otherwise, I can never remember what I was going to talk about, which can be a right pain in the dick or arse. Sorry. So, all the biggest headlines today, I suppose, really, and it's overshadowing even Iran a bit, is this, as one outlet put it, deadly virus outbreak that's decimating a city. Okay. Happy £5. So, meningitis has poked its head up again, especially being used against, fear mongering. I'll say about that in a minute, but there's a definite pattern emerging from all this. Putting COVID aside. Now, a little while back, they started pushing the MMR jab again. And the figures that they were expecting weren't the figures that turned up. There was a lot of hesitancy, which, with what's gone on over the last 5-6 years, I can totally understand. Lies that were told, the bullshit they've told us, force-fed over the narrative. But yeah, that didn't surprise me at all. A lot of these lies have since been exposed. But then 2 weeks after that campaign had started to slow down a little bit, and they got these figures in, we started to see outbreaks of measles. In the States as well. Yeah, there will, Grumpy. Absolutely, mate. But, yeah, so... And I can't... I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think when it was. But I definitely heard them say about meningitis. Good evening, Stitch, little Stitch, resist. I definitely heard somebody in the press mention the jab for meningitis. Or it might have been around the same time as they were talking about the MMR. Now, again, a little while after that, we see this outbreak of meningitis. Now, if you look back through medical history, even recent history, there have been outbreaks of measles, meningitis, scarlet fever, some of the real nasty ones that go around. But up until now, you never see them publicised. They might be in the local paper or on your local news, outbreak of measles at such and such a school. The children were sent home as a precaution. Yeah, Rebel Bert, they are. And he mentioned that himself today. But these little outbreaks are normally dealt with locally. You know, it doesn't go any further. But, you know, if you listen to what they're saying, you know, what a place to, say, start an outbreak of something if you wanted to. What better than a crowded, sweaty club? Or even some fish market somewhere. But you know, most of these nasty things they're coming out with now, we've either got it well under control or eradicated in this country. I have had first-hand experience of meningitis, not in me, but my cousin when she was young, she contracted meningitis. This was through drinking cow's milk, fresh cow's milk. And she had to have brain surgery to remove something from her brain. But it very nearly killed her. But everything now, ever since COVID, it's not a virus or an infection anymore. It's a super virus. It's evolved to massacre everybody. We've got a new vax for it. How did you get that quick? So, you know, and it's either a more, what we say, virulent strain, or it's transmissible difference. Every time, something new. Could this be anything to do with the return of these things where people are coming into the country unchecked, crammed together in hotels, camps, and then being allowed to walk around in public?
Go to nightclubs.
Go to nightclubs, exactly. And literally through this now, as who was it said up in the chat just now? Rebel Bert, that they're not, haven't actually announced lockdowns. But if you listen to what Starmer said, you know, he's gonna, if we need to, for the security and the health and to help look after people, we may need ask them to stop in their homes. So yeah, it's a backdoor way of saying we're even going to consider lockdowns over this. But how would they do it? Can they fall back on the COVID laws and the COVID thing? Because don't forget, they never actually did away with any of those. They just put them on the shelf. So Rebel Bert there, yeah, you know, it's a hint, isn't it? It's a hint to what's coming, and we know that's how they work a lot of the time. It's but yeah, I mean, I ain't worried about meningitis. I got fucking mad cow's disease anyway, so.
I thought you were saying something about me then.
No, I see. Yeah, you were waiting for it, weren't you? You were waiting for something like, and there she is to prove it sat behind me, you know. But I would never do that.
No, because you know I hit.
Not in public, anyway. Yeah, we are, Moo. Yeah, Rebel Bert. Well, today I heard somebody say that they were running out of the vaccine there because obviously the meningitis vaccine is probably only kept to a limited amount locally for little outbreaks. So they're looking at getting supplies from elsewhere around the country, allegedly. So yeah, but they can't manage anything. The NHS can't manage shit. We've seen that, and the government's certainly not. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it, Jen? Good evening, Steve. But yeah, I mean, if they brought in another lockdown or something like that, fuck it. I'd just do the same as I did last time. I'll ignore it. Yeah.
I'll work from home. Can't exactly call it a protest, though, can you? I'm not going into the office.
Well, if you think about it, when you dropped me uptown the other day, that probably took me well over an hour to walk back, a walk that used to take me 5 minutes. And I'd willingly do that both fucking ways in pain just to break the lockdown rules.
Oh, yeah.
Jen, no contrails. I'll tell you what, Jen, yesterday we had a beautiful blue sky most of the day. Well, like today, I say blue. It was a clear sky, but with that slight haze on it that's always there now.
I think you need to clean your glasses.
Today has been absolutely clear. I went out the back earlier on this afternoon. I saw a couple of jets going across. No contrails, just a proper contrail, disappearing behind it. And it stayed that way all day. Yesterday, when it started to come over and we could see the trails starting, do you remember when we saw that pair of them?
Yes, sir.
Now, there was a pair of high altitudes flying side by side, literally, same altitude, everything. And they went straight, and then all of a sudden they'd done a big left-hand turn, like they were in formation, with leaving the big white lines across. I might be wrong. They might have been military jets going off somewhere to flying in formation, which we know they do. But I would say they were too fast for heavy bombers. If anything, the Lancer B1 would have could do that speed up there. But it just seems strange. I've never seen a flight path go across here like that. They can't afford the avgas. Do you know what, mate? We used to run a motorcycle on that shit years ago. Yeah. Yeah, as I say, Jem, ours has been really, really clear. Really clear. I mean, well, fucking hell, yeah. Rachel Reeves from accounts. The complaints handler. She opened her trap again today, didn't she? Yeah. Prices will go up. Who would have thought that? The economy will suffer. Yeah, it will. Oh, and energy. Yeah. Some people will get their 150 quid off their bills. I don't know if that's everybody.
Not certain.
No, I'm not certain. We got it last year, didn't we? The 150 quid knocked off. And, oh yeah, they're going to lower the price cap on energy by £117 for 3 months. Well, good evening, Adrian. How you doing, buddy? We know how that works. I've explained it before. There's always that little bit of leeway. Nobody, other than probably heavy industry, pays anywhere near the cap. So they've got a bit of leeway to put it up or down. But bringing it down by 117 quid, I very much doubt anybody would see or notice any difference in their bills whatsoever.
It's not even £1 a month.
Nope, not even £1 a month. Yeah, there won't be any noticeable. Yeah, but the only ones that are really going to gain are the ones that run the heating on diesel, on oil, obviously. There's a big £50 million, whatever, set aside to help them. Whoa. Why? If the fuel prices are going to go up, they'll go up the same as our electricity, same as our gas. They need electricity to run the pumps. Yet they're stopping people using log burners and open fires. So, no, I don't believe anybody's going to be seeing anything on their bills from that. It's smoke and mirrors. They've done it before. It's like the economy's recovering. So, okay, so why aren't the fucking prices going down? And, we're going to keep the duty on fuel frozen till I think it was September to help with the cost of living. And we'll go after anybody that's profiteering from the price of fuel. That's coming from somebody who takes over 55% in tax and duty out of a litre of fuel. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that bitch can stand there and say things like that. But, she... car drivers are going to be hit the worst, obviously, as you're always on this. But it's not just the car drivers, as we know, is it? It's freight, it's deliveries, it's keeping the shops supplied. The cost of producing, cost of harvesting. Prices will go up and up and up. And that just doesn't seem to be a concept that the dozy bint can understand. She keeps saying unemployment's going down. Well, in fact, it's not. We know that it's going up big time at the moment, especially. But then she announces we're going to invest, I think, was it 2.5 billion? Or 2.5 million, I can't remember which, for AI. All for the good of the economy. Help grow the economy, I think she said. I may be missing something here. But how is one computer with AI replacing thousands and thousands of jobs, putting people on the benefits, good for the economy? Again, the dozy cow just does not fucking understand it.
Well, how many times have we heard we're putting the wages up, putting minimum wage up to help? No, putting minimum wage up just means that the prices will go up so that the factories and companies have the same profit margin, which means nobody's better off at the end of the day anyway.
Yeah, it's on that the cost of fucking Miliband. Oh my god, what an absolute fucking freak! He is an absolute clusterfuck. His latest one, you've probably all heard it. Turn the fridges off and drink warm beer in the pubs.
Have you ever tried warm Carling?
Yeah. No, he hasn't got a clue, Grumpy. He hasn't got a clue, mate. I mean, when mainstream media point you out as a fucking idiot with a pie chart, and he's not even looking at it. He's staring at the audience and the camera like some sort of fucking zombie. Oh. Yeah, I mean, come on. This net zero bollocks has been proved it's a scam. It's nowhere near as green as they say, this renewable. We're seeing that now. And Starmer still says, carry on. None of them have got an idea how it works in the real world, Grumpy. None of them, mate. Not one of them. I mean, China's laughing all the way to the bank because over all this green shit, and they're the ones that are producing a lot of the components for it. They're laughing their tits off. Yeah, they know once they get into it and they've got them, they're going to have to keep replacing parts, put more up. Yeah. But the other thing, Reeves is announcing all this support. Where's she getting the money from?
Found it under the mattress.
Yeah, there was no money left in the coffers. She'll probably just invent some more taxes. Cover it. That'll also cover the extra that they were probably promising Zelensky at the moment while he's here. How the fuck did he get to meet the king? By the way. Yeah. The world's top scrounger there with the begging bowl out again. All right, Jen. Take care, sweetheart.
Take care, Jen. Good to see you.
We have a biscuit tin full of cash, right? Yeah. Yeah, some other poor soul's going to suffer because they need more money. But yeah, I think Zelensky's only there. What people are saying is right, that he's fallen off the screens at the moment, and Iran's took over from him, and he just wants to affirm that he's still getting his money. Woo! I'm still here. But yeah, God knows where it's going to all end. But anyway, moving on. Immigration. Even if there's not a lot of talk in the media about it, it's still there. People are still talking. People are still protesting. Although the government are doing their damnedest to try and stop any of it. And they're still coming across the channel. There was more boats coming in today. And they're still helping them come across. They're still picking them up and bringing them in. And putting them up in hotels and, I nearly said holiday camps then. In ex-military camps and the like. And people are still saying, and rightly so, shut the borders, no more in. But as always, it's to do with the ECHR. Everything around immigration is to do with ECHR. Don't forget, there'll be hundreds of thousands on their way now as well. After Iran going off, there's going to be thousands coming in our direction, all wanting to get to Britain.
Already been so many thousand.
Yeah, they've flown them in, yeah. But the ECHR, people are calling for us to leave it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with it. Now, people are asking the question, we can't get rid of people. We can't close our borders. We can't do this with immigrants because of the ECHR. How is Poland doing it? And I think it's Hungary is another one. There's several others that are now defying the ECHR. Well, it's quite simple. Because they have not integrated the ECHR into their country's laws. And if they want to reject what the EU are telling them to do, the EU directive, they can. UK, we're a bit different, aren't we? Our fucking idiots installed a lot of the ECHR into British law. So even though you can reject the ECHR, it's still in our laws here. Funny how governments only follow laws that follow their narrative or it suits them. Some of it, I believe, Grumpy Sapper, or quite a bit of it actually, was put in by the Tories. And Starmer did install other stuff. Why he was what's the name there, the prosecutions or whatever it was, or his time as a human rights lawyer. Don't forget, he was the one that pushed and won the case for these illegals to get benefits, basically, as soon as they get here. Yeah, I think the EU is basically on the verge of collapse, to be honest with you. Yeah, exactly, Grumpy. He calls for people to be removed from Parliament. He called for prime ministers to step down because they made a mistake. Yet he can make all the mistakes going. He can openly fucking lie to the House, break every going rule. Yet he will not step down. You know, that just tells you everything about the guy.
He likes being in charge.
Oh, he's on an absolute fucking power trip. He's fucking drunk on it. And what makes it worse is he hasn't got a clue what he's fucking doing. Or the worst scenario is he knows exactly what he's doing, which seems to be more the fucking case.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, look at him today in the joke that is Prime Minister's questions. How many times was he asked a yes or no question about the Epstein files? Did he have prior knowledge of what Mandelson was up to when he appointed him as the ambassador for America? Well, he got well called out on that one, didn't he? But again, the other day, Mr. Speaker boldly told him that he must answer the questions. Yet today, he declined 4 times, asked the same question, and he just went into pre-prepared speeches that he had on a bit of paper. Now, I've always said they should do away with these pre-given questions. He can bring whatever paperwork he likes in, whatever fucking statements he likes. But until those questions are asked, he should never know what they're going to be. It's an absolute fucking farce. You know, even the mudslinging, half of that looks like it's scripted because they're always looking at the notes. But yeah, he absolutely refuses to answer a question or be held to account. Again, what does that tell you what sort of man he is? And they all do it. The same when they're answering the press. If you look how confused they get when someone throws an unannounced question to him, and it's usually those with a double barrel question because they've written the first question to him in an interview down, and then they ask a second one and try and get him to answer the two. And he just gets totally fucking confused. But he knows who he's going to ask to give their questions. Good evening, loafer. But, you know, the question's got to be, what's he hiding? I believe there is something far deeper in them missing files than they're letting on. You know, he's been caught bang to rights putting the wrong person into the job. He's denied he had any knowledge or further knowledge of what was going on. Yet he managed to comment on all that was going on around the Epstein files leading up to that. You know, why? He's going to get far, far more flack and shit over what he's doing than if he just come out and admitted it. You know, it's all scripted, and until that changes, the pantomime's going to continue. Then he keeps on. Oh, he was on about it again today. Sorry, guys, my eyes are playing up a bit there. I'm having problems reading my notes. He keeps on about, our partners and allies. They're yours, you freak. They're not ours. They're yours. We don't like them. And it seems now as if most of them have had enough of your bullshit. And they're dropping support and fucking them around like flies. And I'm just waiting now for the big tariffs and everything else that's going to be coming from Trump. as a punishment. But again, I'm amazed it's taken this long for him to suss him out. We knew fucking years ago, and he absolutely proved it 2 years ago. So, but as always, he would actually rather see the country destroyed than admit that he'd done anything wrong. You gave up beer for Lent, so I'm drinking cider. Well, that's fair enough, Loafer.
I gave up drinking beer quite a long time
Yeah,
ago.
you just drink whiskey and wine now, don't you? Yeah. I'm proud to say I'm still teetotal and have been for, what is it now, 15 years?
I'm sorry, you are not teetotal. You are Coke total. You don't drink tea.
No. You're confusing me now. Yeah, I won't say I haven't had the odd half a pint of cider when we used to go mountain biking and that on the way back. It's nice just to sit in a pub garden and talk about the day's riding and that. And take the piss out of those of us that crashed. But that was about it. One, I was always driving anyway. But half pint of cider, that was enough for me just to sit there. Well, hopefully, Grumpy Shapper. The problem we've got now is this up and coming grooming gangs inquiry, the official one. Apparently, he's announced that they will not be diving into the backgrounds and stuff of the people like himself in power surrounding the cover-ups and shit. Basically, he's trying to hide it all again. Now, as I said a while back, the reason that he's agreed to this now is because he's holding up another law that they've been discussing that's going to come in, which is the Hillsborough law. Now, if that was already in place, by law, they would have to testify, be investigated, and by that very law, they could be held lawfully account for anything they've done that's basically unlawful or against the law. At the moment, they can't because they've got protection in place. A bit like when they changed the treason laws. That was changed. I can't remember the exact wording, but you cannot, by law now, accuse the government or the monarch of treason. I believe it goes down quite a bit lower than like the MPs as well, like higher authorities. They cannot be accused in law of treason. That bit of the treason laws were repealed. Well, the thing is, Grumpy Shapper, if we've got no law that you can be prosecuted under for treason, yeah, that speaks for itself. Yeah, exactly, Loafer. It's been talked about quite some time. And Starmer was all for it. It was going sweetly. And then all of a sudden, he just, boom. He was trying to hurry it through at one point. But then I think he realised just how much it would expose him and the others around him. So he's been holding it back. You know, I always said they were never, ever going to let this full inquiry happen as it should. Never. Not in this fucking world. But if we get another party in and they order another inquiry and also pass the Hillsborough law, just because he's not PM anymore doesn't mean to say the fucker can't be prosecuted for it. And, you know, he's a disgrace of a man. He stands there openly, oh, we've got to protect the kids and the women. And covering this up is the absolute opposite. It's doing nothing to help women and kids. Yeah, I don't know what connections there were there, Loafer. I mean, you know, it was just something that never should have happened, and it was the police's fault. You know, and it would have to be proven. It had to be proven to them before they admitted it. That, you know, those in authority are never ever going to admit to being at fault unless it's exposed by an inquiry or something. And then it's even worse trying to get them and hold them to account for it, as it were. Yeah, there's been pissing competitions going on in government for years, Loafer. We know that. But as I say, a leader should lead from the front, not cowering behind doors because he's too terrified to come out and face his public. That's not a leader. You know, that's someone that's just stirring up trouble, shall we say, and he's done plenty of that in the last couple of years, hasn't he? Oh, what we got going on in here? What, Grumpy, weren't you based out in Dubai? Or
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
But he says he's got no missiles.
He's got no missiles. I didn't see that.
Very early on. Very early on. He said he's all right there, got no missiles.
Yeah, Motorhead's dead and gone, Loafer. Well, to be honest, they died when Lemmy went, didn't they?
Yeah, but Phil's only just died.
Yeah, Phil's only just died. But
yeah, all good, all safe, no missiles there.
I didn't see that one. That's because I was talking and not following. My fucking eyes are going to dally again here. I don't know what it is. I've been all winter, and most of the time my symptoms and my issues have been constant. I haven't changed anything in my lifestyle. My diet's still the same. But they seem to be getting erratic again all over the place.
It's the palm oil they're putting in the chocolate.
Well, I haven't had that much chocolate, and I've been trying to stay away from Cadbury's when I do. That's why I don't want any Easter eggs from them. Neither does anybody else, but to look at the amounts that are left in the shops. But
got a few weeks yet.
I've got the hot tub is still working, rum still flows. And yes, I still do pay my taxes. Yeah, I think there's a lot over here now that are deciding it's worth the risk to try and hide taxes and shit now. And this is the other thing, and we've always said this: pushing up prices artificially, charging too much for fuel. All it's going to do is encourage crime. There's going to be fuel thieves. I mean, I can remember during the fuel shortages and what have you last time, certain lads going out and siphoning fuel for their motorbikes. I won't mention any names. You know, I won't give any evidence that might incriminate myself. But yeah, you know, that's the sort of thing high prices encourage. You know, I mean, we see this big, absolutely huge leap in this shoplifting. You know, yeah, people will always shoplift if they can't afford food. You know, they've got to eat. But in most cases now, that's not what we're seeing. We're just seeing gangs going in and emptying the shelves like them silly organised bastards did the other day. But they're starting to be arrested now. You know, if people can't afford to feed themselves, this is what's going to happen. I mean, yeah, most of the shoplifting now seems to be for profit or just to say, oh, I can do it, you know. I mean, all kids do it. I mean, well, they did from my generation. I don't think there's anybody from my generation that can say they didn't shoplift at some point, even if it was a bar of chocolate or a sweet. Most kids used to just pick them up in the shop and walk out with them.
That's what Woolworths Pick and Mix was for.
I always thought it was to eat as much as you could while you were walking around with the bag.
That's what I mean. That's what the Pick and Mix was about. You wandered round, you tried a sample, and put some in the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be great fun. Let's see who can eat a quarter of a pound of sweets on walking around Woolies. But yeah, it's a bit different today. Yeah, I mean, the stealing, the mobile phone thefts, that's purely for profit. Bike thefts, well, that's for profit as well because they either selling them bikes onto the clowns that are doing the stealing,
or they're using them to do,
or they're using them to steal and rob people. And this is all being produced by the government. You know, for a few years now, unless the kids really want to learn, they're just turning out feral kids, and the parents are doing nothing about them. I mean, fuck me, if my old man caught me out at 14 or even 15 years old, terracing round the streets, robbing people, I'd have been battered to fuck. It wouldn't have happened.
Didn't catch you then.
Well, it's just, he didn't catch me doing quite a few things, but I was never like that.
No, I know.
You know?
No. And they're the pick and mix thief, nothing else.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Loafer. There is no shame in them lot. They don't give a. They'll do it in front of cameras. They know damn well they're on camera, and they don't care.
Because they've got a balaclava on.
You know, it's just total disrespect for society. They're like packs of animals roaming the streets. Yeah. I mean, there's Carnal, the streets of London are safe, says he, driving around in a bloody great cavalcade and a bomb-proof and bulletproof Range Rover. Yeah? Yeah, streets are safe. Look at me, I'm out during the day with my dog. And I'm sure that's just another thing he's proving to everybody. You know, Muslims hate dogs. They're dirty things. Oh, look, I got a dog. I'm integrating. He's a knob end. I mean, he managed to con his way in again on the last election, but I don't think he'll have such an easy time this time.
Well, we can hope.
Well, it's like Starmer. He is losing support. And some of the support he's losing is the Muslim support. Yeah. I mean, the Greens, they're Muslim through and through, as we know, aren't they? You know, they're...
Well, I'm finding that out now.
You know,
I thought Greens were about ecology.
I mean, they got literally Muslims and nasty ones that preach the hate in positions of power within their organisation, in councils.
And yet, what did you say the leader was? Gay Jew?
He's a gay Jew, yeah. Yeah. A lot of the Arab states have come out and said the same, haven't they, today? They're criticising him left, right and centre now. But he's still going to come out and call them our allies, our friends. But I think they'll all drop him. I really do. And the thing is, it's going to affect us. I mean, Trump realised it. He knows it's not the British people. He knows it's Starmer. And he's basically come out and said it. But they won't. You know, but they are. They're getting pissed off with him as much as we are. Yeah, it's being used as an excuse to push his agenda and get his votes. But the other issue is that he hasn't even considered that he's still an infidel. He's a white man. And as soon, or if they ever took power, they're not going to have him there. They're going to kick him out. It'll be all them. And he doesn't realise that. He'll be pulled down the same as us. And he'll end up in the same shit as us. The only good thing, if that scenario ever happened, he will never, ever survive as long as any of us would. Because he'd have them after him and us. If he's on lawless streets, I mean, he's done, isn't he? He's cooked. Yeah, he's one of the ones that's to blame for a lot of it, and people weren't going to forget that in a hurry, no matter how dire their situation. They'll always remember the person that put them in that situation. And it seems as if a lot of people now are taking notice of what I said a while back. You know, other people have said it as well. But when he comes out on these little PR bullshit jaunts, don't entertain him. You know, if you've got a shop, a business, a company, and they want to come in and do their little PR shit in your business, fuck them off. Tell them no. Make him unwelcome. You know, I mean, he's down now to visiting schools and community centres because people just don't want to listen to him. And even in them venues, you can see people just aren't interested in what he's fucking saying. Yeah, and I'm not grumpy, but I've heard that from quite a few people, that it is, yeah, there are different rules, but there again, every country's got different rules and laws. And if you're visiting a country or you move to that country, I believe that you should at least conform with their laws. You don't need to fully integrate, but you should conform to the laws of the land. And unfortunately, that's what Islam forgets. I mean, even the Sikhs. I mean, look at what's his name, the old Kapoor, I think his name is, the one in London with the restaurants. The way they're going after him, he's getting no help or protection from the police. And in fact, they arrested him the other day. That's the problem, Grumpy. Now, there's little silly laws, like I believe it's Thailand, I think it is, where it's an insult to show somebody the soles of your feet. Okay, so you wear flip-flops, you wear shoes, trainers, whatever. It's the law of the land. And I mean, most countries, even some of the sex industry countries, I'll call them, like Thailand and shit, that they used to be, even they've clamped down on child sex and shit like that. Not in under Islam, in Muslim countries, though, really, is it? It's still allowed. It's against the law in this country, and they should respect that. And as we're always told, or I've been told quite a few times in my past in court, ignorance of the law is not a defence. Yet they use it as a defence all the time. Oh, I didn't know it was illegal. Soles of your shoes. Yeah, that's why they go around slapping each other with flip-flops, isn't it? Personally, I find a bigger insult is a smack in the mouth, but if someone wants to come and try and beat me with a flip-flop while I'm smacking them in the nose, that's absolutely fine by me. I'm going to take them out every time, aren't I? No, see, if slapping somebody with a flip-flop is a total insult, if that was in this country, I'd be out there making steel flip-flops or concrete ones. So when you get slapped with a fucking thing, you know you're going to get hit. You know it's hit you. But as we've seen now, it's even the cons in prison are turning on women and child abusers, as we've seen. There's been quite a few deaths of paedophiles and rapists and that in the prisons. Now, it's always gone on. The prisoners don't like the people that do this sort of thing. So I would say a lot of it that's coming out in the press now, this one's died here, that one's died there, not saying how they died. I believe that's just part of the normal course of prison life. But the ones now that are being openly attacked and people are putting their hands up and say, yeah, I got them, that tells me a different story of the way the prisons are going now. And even the staff, the screws and that are saying now it's getting out of control in prisons. Well, yeah, because look at the type of people you're putting in there rather than fucking deporting them. That's why. And if the Muslims are running the prisons, how's it happening? It's okay under their religions, ideology, laws. Yet they're letting people get essentially murdered in prison for doing it. There's a lot that don't add up. A lot that don't add up. You've just been sent there, right? Do you know what, Grumpy Sapper? I actually sat here the other day when they announced all this shit about the war starting up over there and this, that, and the other, and the threats were being made to Britain. I was going to go out and see if I could buy and find one of them old hand-cranked air raid sirens. Can you imagine doing that in a city centre at 3 o'clock in the morning? It would scare people shitless. I'll tell you what, mate, with even what's going on there, you're probably better off there than here anyway. Yeah, the thing was, a few years ago, I saw a pair of them, one big one and one smaller one at a car boot sale. I thought, shall I not for a laugh?
Glad you didn't.
No, I was going to take it up the woods and start cranking it up there and see what happens.
Get yourself arrested.
I'll tell you what, Grumpy, they keep on about it. Britain Street's the same. I mean, our area here is quite quiet. We have got an immigrant hotel not that far away. And when I was up in the town yesterday, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Fuck me, I forgot when I went up to town. So they had 3 days this week. I did notice there was, I can't say they were immigrants, but there was quite a few foreigners just hanging around. And there was more than usual of women with a full face covering. But I'll be honest, I wouldn't go up town after dark. No, I wouldn't go out at night anyway. It's one, obviously, if I got attacked with the issues with my bloods and clots and shit like that, it wouldn't take much to put me down permanently, shall I say. And I have got a temper. But there you go. Right, guys, I am starting to flag a bit here now. As I said, my eyes are starting to fucking play up. Which is usually the first sign of anything. So anyway, well, we kept going more than an hour this time. It'd been nice to have got the same as last week, but...
Well, let's hope they miss you, Grumpy Sapper.
Don't get in the hot tub with a beer. You just been sent an air raid warning. Have you got sort of an alert text system out there then, Grumpy, like they tried to do here? I haven't heard a lot of that since the last test. But I'd have thought now would have been the ideal time so they can spread the fear for it. But anyway, guys, I'm drifting away here. I'm gonna call that it for tonight. As I say, no videos at the moment. There might be now and again the odd one or two get posted. I have posted a few on Facebook. I even posted a few on X, but something's going a bit doodally with that today. I'm not sure whether my account's been hacked or what, but it's something I've got to look into tomorrow when I've got a clear head, as it were. But thank you for those that come in tonight, joined us, those in the lurking in the background. Thank you to you guys. Yeah, all helps the analytics, doesn't it? But with that, as always, it's good night from me.
Yeah, and it's good night from me.
And as always, stay safe, stay strong, particularly at the moment, and stay free with all this extra fucking censorship and this Muslim hostility bollocks. I'm ignoring it. Cheers, guys. Respects to all you.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.